And you won't hear my echo on the Zoom because I'm wearing headphones. So there's our backup recording, and we are live. You won't hear on my YouTube. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the May 26, 2026 Rider Oversight Committee. My name is Stefan Wunsch. I'm the co-chair of the Rider Oversight Committee. I'm in Lynn, Massachusetts right now. And Wig is our committee co-chair. Wig, want to introduce yourself? Just say hi.
Hi, everybody. I live in Somerville, and I'm in Somerville right now. Um, Nice to have you watching.
Sounds
Len?
good. Loud and clear, Wig. Len?
I'm coming from Somerville too, the lovely Winter Hill in Somerville. Yeah, yeah. Um,
Thank
A
you
lot
very
of
much.
construction there.
oh yeah, oh love it. Yeah, so
Are you
yeah,
being
lots.
sarcastic?
Oh no, I do. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. No. We have like a big affordable housing complex going up. I mean, not too far
Oh,
away
excellent.
where the Star Market used to be. It's gonna be large. I mean, over 100 units. I'm pretty sure. I
Oh,
forget the number.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's a very large parcel
yeah.
Oh, excellent.
And
for
then
Somerville especially.
yeah, and there's something
Uh,
like across the street. I mean, I don't think that's affordable, but it's another housing, another house going up. There's a three-family going up right next to me. Yeah, uh, so yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
assuming that's all very close to public transit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Excellent.
It's like a 25 minute walk from Sullivan, which I do because I just love to walk. But you could do a much shorter walk. I mean, to Gilman. I mean, like a 10-15 minute walk maximum. Probably a little bit longer to Magoon. You know,
There's
about
pretty
20.
good bus
Yeah,
service as well.
yeah, 89, 101. 95.
Yep.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear that not public housing. You said
Affordable.
affordable
Yeah.
housing is near public transit. And
Oh yeah.
Craig is with us. I caught him that he had showed up as an attendee on the phone, but we've got you, Craig. Do you want to say hi, audio check, and introduce yourself?
Hey, Craig Laskowski, public member. I won't be able to join for long today. I got to run in circles, but I talk to you all at least for 15 minutes here. Say hello.
Absolutely great. Thank you. Yes, the always better to have you even for a short time than not at all. So thank you very much. Since Craig's got limited time, is there anything that we want to jump ahead and cover on the agenda? Should we jump around? Craig, I don't know if you were able to see the agenda. If not, I can give you the quick summary of what's on the table in case you wanted us to focus on something while we have you.
Yeah, that'd be great. What do you got on the list?
Okay. WIG brought to our attention issues with the lead times for getting senior Charlie Card passes addressed at the Charlie Card store. We have the typical current events and recent presentations to the board. We've got two specific reviews of the Unified Planning Work Program and the TIP, the Transportation Improvement Program. Len also has a draft letter that he had offered to put up for our review in case we wanted to comment on it or even vote on an approval. That's not a mandatory thing right now, if I understand from you, Len, correct? And we've got
Yeah.
also additional stuff from MassDOT SPR, upcoming guests, and the PMT Focus 40 process. Go ahead, Wig. I mean, Len, excuse me. Go ahead, Len.
Well, I was gonna say I just emailed the draft for the comment letter for the UPWP, and we need to decide whether or not we want to send anything at this meeting because the deadline for it is like in the next day or two, and yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Well, I'll speak for myself and say that I think any of our committee who has put the time in, like you did, Len, to write up a comment, should be strongly considered
Yeah.
as a submission from the committee. Would you like me to? You know what? I will put it on the screen right now.
Well, let's ask Craig what he wants to cover because he can
Oh
read
yeah,
this
sure.
later. If we decide we're going to do it, we can wordsmith. for the next day or so, and I encourage
point.
that. It doesn't, wordsmithing doesn't bother me at all. I mean, I
Okay.
usually accept most people's comments. But of course, it's always the author's discretion. But it's fine. So that's it.
Craig, any preference?
All right. So no, I guess let's hit that Charlie card one first, just because it goes, it's in the wheelhouse. It's in the wheelhouse of address, like, if I think through like what our priorities should always be in these meetings, the priority would be if something urgent comes up where there's I would say impact to the rider, but it's opposed to long-term impacts, like the idea of strategy and Focus 40 and all this kind of thing. This is something where we have an immediate, I would say gripe, but that does a disservice to how impactful this could be to somebody. But we have an immediate impact issue we could be addressing, right? So I'm curious, is there a solution on the table?
Let me just jump in here. I have a Charlie card that's just not working, a senior card. And so I checked at North Station because I go through there all the time, but of course they don't really know much about it. And they suggested I get in touch with a Charlie card store, so I did. And I've made an appointment, but it's many weeks from the date I made the appointment, which kind of surprised me because years ago you could just walk in. And there were rarely lines, that were significant. So it was pretty easy to just stop by if you had an issue in the middle of the day. It's in a good location to walk in. But I don't think we should spend much time on it because what I'll do is report back to you guys after I go.
Okay.
Okay.
No,
fair enough.
All right.
Well, for what it's worth, I know you can't see this, Craig, but I'll just mention the way that you book an appointment is a fairly detailed, almost a little hard to understand at first. It's actually like a Microsoft 365 document. I think you'd technically call this a form.
Yeah.
You select one of 8 different things that you want to handle, and then below, based on what you've selected, there's a calendar and available times, and I can confirm from doing it live right now, the next one available, I just kind of guessed, and I picked renew your senior Charlie card. Right, Wig? That's applicable?
Yeah, mine is, I need to renew it, but it's the card I have is screwed up too, so I wanted to
so in this
share that
particular
with them.
case, when you select renew your senior Charlie card, it's only Mondays. So, for example, the next one is June 1st. So there's just only one day a week. The times that pop up
is there an option to do it without having to actually go in?
Yeah, there is, but you can't recover anything on your old card. You can go online and order a Charlie card. I don't know how long that takes, but I'm sure it would be a quicker process.
Right. So the only reason to go in is if you lost your card and you add value on it.
No, I have my card. It just doesn't work.
No, I know. I understand that, right? Like, and you're choosing. I don't want to solve for your problem because your problem is you're choosing that you want to spend your time going to tell them about it, right? The easy answer would be like, oh, mine's broke. Just send me a new one, right? Like, so if everybody had to go in who had a broke card, I'd be more worried about it.
You're right, and I don't know how long. They might get it out in 3 days in the mail. I don't know the answer to that one.
Okay. Well, you can report back, and we'll go on. All right. What was I'll keep us moving then. What was our next topic?
Well, before we go on to the next thing, I just want to point out that according to this calendar, the only times available for seniors are Mondays only in the morning. It seems to range only from about 8:30 in the morning to noon. And that
Right.
at first glance, 1 day a week, AM only, seems to be fairly constrictive or limited. I'll just say that. So that's my personal opinion. But yes,
Not
I agree. We can move on. I just wanted to call
not
out
fairly constrictive, very constrictive.
very constrictive. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would agree. That sounds very, very constrictive. I would be interested. It'd be interesting to find out why, right? Is that
Yes.
because for that part of the process, they have like, there's some, like, is it somebody only works on Mondays who does that? Is it there's a special group of people, like it takes like 5 people to do it? Or was that a choice because there's not that many people are taking advantage of it, so they were paying somebody to sit in a room all day long, and this is like once in a blue moon, like everything else is done online, so they don't really.
Good question.
They in two things can be true at the same time, right? Like this could be we get like 3 of these a month, so we just kind of like pick the window so that somebody's like at that desk for this time, and it could be them being cheap and trying to save a buck too. Like multiple things can be true at the same time.
Absolutely right. Good catch. Yes.
It just seemed weird to me because years ago, I didn't interact with them frequently, but I had a friend and a sister who had a card when they were like going to museums or just visiting. But no matter what the issue was, they just handled it in real time, and it was very fluid. Sometimes there was a little line, sometimes not much of a line, but it just seemed weird to me. So I'll report back at least on my side.
Yeah, and that goes to just the evolving nature of like when the Charlie Card store was erected 20 years, or when they did the first one in downtown Crossing, that was like a big deal to be out of the transportation building. And then they had that one that was was on Washington Street, and then COVID happened, and now between COVID happening and the fact that you can pay by card, which obviously is different and doesn't work for a senior here in this situation, but I guess I'm just more speaking to I would imagine the volumes at the Charlie Card store are dramatically different than they were a decade ago, but we got to make sure that in the process of them right-sizing the Charlie Card store to deal with the modern thing, that we haven't disadvantaged seniors and those who need to go.
Right.
It's finding that right balance. Have they overswung the pendulum? Man, is the question to me.
Yeah, I think that is the question. I mean, it's not really a concern to me. I mean, for somebody over 75, I'm pretty able to figure some things out, and it's not a big deal for me personally. But there are a lot of seniors that have compromises in their abilities and range and stuff like that. So I'll find out, and I'll let you know.
Very quickly, in fairness, I just reread it for like the 5th time, and I noticed that the Tuesday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m., which is basically 4 days a week all day, it does say replace a lost, expired, or damaged card without regard to senior or any other status. So I'm wondering if maybe, Wig, you do have wider options that could be walk-in, and the scheduling.
Then what would the purpose be for the restricted time?
Well, and now that I'm looking at it more closely, it's apply for.
No, I'm not applying, and they knew that.
Yeah, and in this case also, I don't believe that renew your senior Charlie card is applicable because you just want to replace it. It's not expired, you just have a bad physical card, so that might fall under replace a lost, expired, damaged card, which is, in fact, Tuesday through Friday.
I'll find out.
We will find out, yeah. I had to add that at the end there because I think I misread it at first, and I wanted to be fair to, give you the full disclosure there. Thank you. So next up, anything urgent, anything pressing? Because I've got one thing that I was reading for far too long that might be up your alley, Craig. There was a slide presentation from the Health, Safety, and Environment Subcommittee about the wholesale electricity procurement. And I have to admit, it made my head spin. So I wanted to call that out to you, Craig. I'll put the link into the Zoom chat, so that'll get into the YouTube recording, and I'll mail it out later. But for somebody like Len and you, Craig, with more of a finance knack to yourselves, and Wig with environmental, you might be able to make more heads and tails out of this than I am. I don't know if I have any concerns, but
Which
I'm also
deck was this?
not. This is the one from the Health, Safety, and Environment Subcommittee from, I think it was just a couple of days. Oh, sorry,
Okay,
middle of last week.
May 21st.
Yep. Yeah, wholesale electricity procurement. And it goes into the day-ahead market, the spot market, wholesale versus fixed block power contract, day-ahead power contract. I just wanted to call it out tonight.
Yeah,
because
it
made my head
makes
spin.
sense that this is pretty complicated. You know, the energy markets are shifting and also complex. And, you know, this is likely to be an important contract from a total dollar value. And so there'll be concern about it being documented and non-prejudicial.
And it's worth mentioning that there's a slide on here that talks about the renewable energy certificate contract, which started off at 20% in 2015, but was at 100% starting in 2021. That seems to me to mean that 100% of procurement is under the auspices of renewable energy certificates.
That's good.
But I would love somebody else to read this with me and correct me.
No, that seems like this case. I mean, that's good. I mean, and you often pay a premium for that, but you have to put your money where your values are, times, especially, in the early stages where sometimes the greener costs or more expensive, but sometimes well, a lot of times, the folks who can afford it, need to do it so that, there's enough demand, to increase the supply, which will then bring the prices down for everyone. But also I think the state, has mandated a minimum adoption of green energy. I don't know to what extent that applies to the tea. But the tea is being green, I get it. And with respect to those block contracts, it's kind of like the hedging, that they do for fuel, where they will buy a certain amount at on a contract that says we're going to buy fuel at this rate, and if the fuel goes higher, then the T has saved money. If the cost goes lower, then it will have spent more money than is necessary, but at least it gives the T a predictable cost for its fuel, its
Right.
It's oil, it's diesel.
Yep.
But then I think half of it is just kind of floating. So whatever the market is what it pays. So
Right.
so and here, I think they're saying they're doing like a 70-30 split, for electricity. And so they go out in the market and say, look, we want to buy day ahead at this rate. So it's that. Me, 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 I haven't gone any deeper in the contract, but I don't think you need to in order to understand what it is and what they're about with the rationale. Do you have other questions, Stefan?
Not specific ones. No,
Okay.
I guess it's really just a matter of the more eyes on this and the more conversation that we can have amongst ourselves, the more educated we'll all become about it.
Yeah, well, it's good to see this presented. I don't know to what extent they've been doing this. And they just weren't presenting it to the board. So, and
Good.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
there's always an intersection of policy and price, right? I I think what Len said was spot on with regard to the um, kind of ethical foundation of this, and I think that's broadly supported by the state and by the large agencies as well. But at the same time, you're chasing the energy is blended, right? So it's just that you're getting credited for that portion uh, as to its origin, but in fact it's all blended anyway.
Mm. I mean,
But yeah,
I guess
go
what they're
ahead.
also saying on slide. Oh, they don't have the slides. Oh, no, they do. In slide number, I think it's 7. Yeah, 7.
Yep,
It,
got it.
is that the price is very high now. It's not a particularly good time to go out on the market, buying anything. Um, um, and locking in the price. Essentially, and think what they're saying is like we don't really want to lock in, prices at these levels. And so I need to read some more on this deck to see, what they are thinking about doing. But as they point out in the second dot, that the spot futures market is showing a backward dated curve, normally with futures, the prices are higher the further you go out into the future for two reasons. One is that, well, there's uncertainty with the future, so you just kind of want to price in that uncertainty. But the other is the storage, and so you're kind of paying for the storage fee. So when the prices nearby are higher than the future prices, especially further out, then that shows you there's some imbalance, going on. So either something has happened to the supply, or some other factor, that generally isn't at play, is having an impact, on the cost. And I think we all know what's going on with energy prices now. I mean, uh, uh, especially the oil-based ones. It's going to be, it may be backwardated for a while, and so I don't know how long the T can hold out, because I think what they're saying is that, well, if we're going to pay spot, then spot's high, but do we want to lock in anything? At this rate, because I don't know how far out they go to buy their contracts, their blocks, but if they go out like 3 months or whatever, and they're still pretty high, they're saying, well, do we want to like lock that in? And I would say don't lock it in. I mean, I haven't seen what they have, what they did or what they're suggesting here, but it's like if there's backwardization, then you might as well just kind of ride it out, and not lock anything in, until the market kind of shakes itself out, because you're going to be paying a high amount anyways, so you're going to be paying a high amount in the spot, or you're going to be paying a high amount for your contract. The difference between spot and contract, though, is that at least when the spot goes down, you pay less. But with the contract, when the spot goes down, you're not locked in at that higher price. So I would never buy like a futures contract, when we're in backwardization, unless there was just some compelling reason to do it.
Hey team, I'm gonna leave it there.
Okay, I
A little
think I
bit.
ran him off with that one.
Hard,
Sorry,
harder and
Craig.
harder to get on these calls, but no, that's good. All right, talk
Thank
soon.
you, Craig.
All right.
Thanks, Craig.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I'll read it more. I had not read these decks, partly because I worked on a letter, and also I had some other work that I just had to do. So and I
Not a
had
problem.
to. Yeah, I'm trying to like do a lot of stuff that requires me using my near vision, because I'm going in um, to get contacts tomorrow. It'll be the first time, and they're like multifocal contacts. And when we fitted them last week, my distance vision was good, but my close-up vision, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work out. It may take a few days to adjust. And maybe a few days of adjusting, and we kind of go, this isn't working out. In case I'm anticipating having a hard time reading, so I'm trying to get stuff that requires typing, need those up done.
Yep.
Well, good luck.
Sure.
Very quickly, since we're talking about the subcommittees from the T, I thought it was notable this is just the overall summary of the FTA
Yeah.
safety management response.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you guys had seen this, where we're at 99% submitted, and we've even got one of them is closed out.
Yeah.
I think the last time I looked at this slide deck about the SMI response, I could be wrong, but I don't remember there being one actually closed out. But certainly, I mean, we've got 100% submitted in all but one, and that's at 98%. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's been a long, long road, but
Yeah.
you know,
Well-
not, as I have the sign over my head, you know, hey, we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. That it's not necessarily a train rushing at us.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a guy
It's
who
impressive.
presented, I think his last name is Regan, to the advisory board today on the operating budget. And just said, I mean, there's a fair amount of money that we're going to have to spend, I mean, to stay in compliance with the FTA regulations, So,
Yes.
so we will eventually close out everything, I mean, but we're going to have to continue spending, I mean, on the things that the FTA said that we needed to get in order to keep them in order, So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's not a surprise, right? I mean,
Yes,
we
that's
knew
right.
that in order to stay in compliance, it's going to be a
Yeah.
continued level of spending. Yeah.
right.
I mean, maybe not. Well, hopefully not the same level of spending as it took to get us
No.
to almost compliant. Well, I mean, I guess submitted close to 100% means I guess we think we're in compliance, and now it's the FTA that has to agree. I think that's what that means.
Right.
But yeah, it's I was about to say it goes without saying, but stuff like this, maybe it doesn't go without saying that we have to have a continued level of investment and operating expenditures. Yeah. Since I happen to have it also right in front of me, did you guys see the stats for the latest customer injuries?
No.
No.
I can't. I don't know. Maybe there's a pattern in here that's seasonal or has to do with ridership, but I can't quite make it out. I mean, so I think this is a really good breakdown by. Let me make this a little more readable. No, hang on.
Yeah, these charts have a lot on them. I mean, you do have to kind of blow them up in order to really be able to read them. And then when you blow them up, you
Yep.
have to scroll around a lot.
Yeah. But
So
I mean, we're higher by a bit on the blue line. We're lower by quite a bit, red and orange. But we had been a lot lower in February. We were lower in February than we were in April for total customer injuries on just the red line. And to me, that's a head scratcher. I mean, did we not have... I'm just sort of thinking out loud. Was the weather in February not as bad as it was in March?
Well, the late storm was the big one.
Was that March? I thought that was... I mean, there's got to be a weather condition correlation here.
Well, with regard to snow, we just had two storms this year, really. And the second one, it wasn't just that one, it was the fact that it was cumulative, that the one before hadn't cleared out.
That's true. Yeah.
So there was, I mean, just looking at Assembly Square as one example, the first one was pretty easy for them to deal with. The second one, they had some pretty heavy equipment. Now, because everything was shut down, that helped them. But the second one took a real effort, and they had the time and space to do it, but it was a much bigger effort. And the same was true of the T. The T was not functioning in places. I intentionally walked to Assembly Square for that second one,
Yep.
And then I walked home and I took the tea intentionally, and some stuff was functional and some stuff was not functional. It was
But
pretty crimped up.
yeah, but do you have a sense that I mean, just from your own experience, did it feel like the the storms were related to customer injuries?
Well, the second one could have been. I don't know that it was, but the second one could have been. There were a lot of things that weren't working well, and I mean, I'm speaking mildly here. I
Hmm.
mean, they really weren't working well.
So where's what do you see as anomalous, Stefan?
Well, just that the September, sorry, not September. Let me start again. The, for example, orange line from last December 2025, we had this nice decrease from December to January, February. This is on
Yeah, I see
slide
it.
3.
Yeah, I see
And
it.
then there's this jump back up, and then we dropped even lower in April than we had in February.
Well,
And it's not exactly the same for the red line, but we did have higher in January, much lower in February, and then March was back up again. And I just I have to imagine that's weather related, slips and falls. Um, it's
Yeah.
I
I
don't know because I mean May of 25 is pretty high. Like that's the highest one
true
there, So I mean, I think
on the
these
orange
numbers,
line, yeah.
yeah, I think these numbers are kind of pretty random, and you might be able to explain, any given month. I mean, in fact, I think they used to break them down. There may be a breakdown later on where they kind of tell you what happened, each month, and so I think the way to handle these, it may be something that I will use an LLM for. It's like you throw them all in to an LLM and say, give me everything that happened in the month of May, you know,
Yep.
um, and or better yet, I mean, tell me what happened, in the month of May last year or whatever. And so instead of having to flip back through them yourself, you can just have the machine like kind of go back and get you that information, you
Sure.
know.
And I
But
to that extent, I suppose if you could get a source of data for the Boston area weather, then you could have an LLM also see if there's a correlation there.
yeah, but you know how it is with correlations, right? Yeah. So, um, they Yeah. I mean,
Better
what I'm
correlate than
getting at is
never.
that you'd have
Sure.
to like what you want to do when you like have it go back and look at, let's say, the January 25 data. It's like tell you, or in this case, the May 25 data. It's like tell you what those injuries were caused by. I mean, was
Yeah.
it slips and falls? I mean, was it an accident? Because one big crash, could get you, a lot of people injured.
Yep.
And was that due to weather? Or was that due to
True.
driver error? Or did they hit a car?
Yep.
That crossed in front of the train. Could be any number of things.
Yep.
And so I think these numbers vacillate a lot just because you do have a lot of these one-offs. And a lot of variation to me is much less worrisome uh, than a steady state. So if we were seeing like that 17, we kind of being pretty consistent, let's say between like 14 and 18, across the board, that would tell me there's some sustained issue going on here. What's up? But to see it bouncing like so you went in 25 from 12.18 to 1.114 in July. So to me, I mean that 1.41. That's kind of anomalous. Man, now look, that's the goal. And so you could ask like what didn't happen, in July, of 25, and how can we replicate that, but at that point to see it go from 1.41 in July, 25 to 7.19 in August doesn't really tell me, that there was a problem in August as much as it was like, for some reason, a lot wasn't going on in July. And we could go back and maybe see like maybe they were running shuttles. then, and they might have been running shuttles on a large part of the Orange Line, and so that would decrease, the injuries on the Orange Line because, a lot of it just wasn't operating.
Interesting. With that last point in mind, probably the revenue mileage in the table on the left would be that factor.
Well, I'm not saying that was the cause. I'm just saying.
Oh no, I know.
Yeah. But
it's probably a related input to the calculation. Yeah, because the actual rate is. Let me see. Are these red, orange, blue actual rate that calculates
their rates
factors in? Okay, no, the table, you can say the table 7.37, 11, yeah, the table is factoring the all three heavy rail modes. So the right column actual rate is the column graph above it, but we don't have in this slide deck, we don't have the breakdown of injuries or revenue miles by each mode, but I'm sure it's out there. I'm sure it's in the NTD.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I don't have anything else personally to cite on this one.
Huh.
Thank you for letting me bring those up.
Sure. Yeah, I'll catch up on these before the next subcommittee meeting. And also, before that meeting, we'll have another board meeting. So as I said, the guy from the T was there as in at the MBTA advisory board meeting today to talk about the operating budget because he wanted to release that to the MBTA advisory board for review because they legally have to comment on the MBTA's operating budget. But this year, they're releasing the draft budget pretty late, so it doesn't really give the advisory board a lot of time. To review. So they at least wanted to present so that they could prime us for the release, which is going to happen on Thursday, and then the advisory board can get to work on it. But it was, it was interesting, and it was recorded, so it'll be on the MBTA advisory board's YouTube channel at some point soon.
Is the presentation available separately, do you know?
Well, I think the presentation, was pretty much the one that was presented to the board. At the what do they call it? Let me back up and find it. I saw that meeting had taken place, and I was like, oh. And I quickly looked at the presentations, and it's like, oh, I'm pretty sure it's the same one.
Yeah, May 21.
Yeah.
Yes, I have it right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Marianne O'Hara?
Well, yeah, she wasn't available today, so I guess one of her deputies presented.
Yeah, is this the slide deck? FY27 preliminary operating budget.
Yeah.
It's got to be. Okay. As usual, I'll make sure this is in the Zoom chat.
Yep, this is the exact same slide deck.
Oh, good. Excellent to have consistency between the multiple presentations.
Yeah.
Then I guess this is the most important one. I'll see if I can make this big enough to read. Wig, is that at all readable on my shared screen?
Well, you can see how many digits are in the numbers.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Let me get a little larger then. How about that?
Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty good eye test, but
Yeah,
Yep.
really.
Yeah, let me pull this over here, and then I can pull us over there, and something like that. Len, was there anything that you wanted to call out after having seen the presentation to
Well,
the advisory board?
so
I didn't want to
it,
put you on the spot.
yeah,
Sorry
no,
if
no,
I
no
am.
problem. No, no, it's fine. So one of the guys at the meeting, he commented on the fare recovery ratio, which I guess is in the teens, um,
Let me see what it
and
is.
he said, "Well, isn't that like just kind of historically low or lower than it was?" And the guy from T like said, "Yes, we never really have recovered like since the pandemic." And the reason is what he's saying is that we've gone from people commuting to the office 5 times a week to 3 times a week. And so it's kind of interesting sometimes, to hear the answer to a question like that, because sometimes you're kind of getting, the sense that the T feels that the riders are coming back, but they may be coming back in a mix that is different enough from before me so that the impact on the fare recovery ratio is less. Um, uh,
yeah.
uh, so
What's
like
that?
I think
Trying to
buses
find that
come
on the
back
slides.
and commuter rails come back. But but I don't know if the commuter rail. To me, it's just an interesting question. It might be interesting to see if we can get the data on that. It's like, how is the ridership across the commuter rail distributed? And within lines. Do you have as many people? Going all the way out to the end of the line. Let's say the zone eights.
There we are.
So are the zone distribution trips the same as they, used to be? You know, it, are people who are further out, just not commuted in as much. And also I don't know to what extent, how the commuter rails revenue broke down, by zone. But let me rephrase that and say I don't know to what extent like, there was a greater number of riders out in zone eight, and that was making up for or contributing a lot more, to the commuter rails revenue, than those coming in from zone two. You know?
I think it's highly variable.
Yeah,
Because look at how far out Worcester is. But it's a much bigger node than some, and some of the commuter rails go to suburbs that are going to have a fair amount of lawyers and other professionals.
hmm
Some, like the ones going north, sometimes my experience is that Salem and Rockport are more kind of tourists, or
right,
people going to see museums or
right.
the waterfront or that kind of thing. So I bet it varies quite a bit depending on the
Mhm.
character of the stops.
Right,
Hmm.
right. And certainly like the time of year. Because yeah,
Yeah.
in the
I mean,
summertime. Good.
yeah, New York City's going to be way different, right? I
Right,
mean, a lot of people, work on Wall Street, came in from Greenwich, they all took the train.
right.
But I think here it's going to be highly variable. And, I have limited experience, but I go to events in all directions. Just not high frequency, but I get it's a hell of a lot easier than driving. I don't know why anybody would want to drive if they don't have to.
Well, I think what people, yeah, well, I think the reason they do is that, I agree with the ease and the convenience, but I'm also fine with it taking me longer to get there. and I'm also fine, with tailoring me by departure, me and my
Yeah.
return, to the schedule,
Yeah.
up to a point, So now the frequency
Yeah.
is fast enough that I don't really think twice about it, And but it used to be like on some weekend, routes, like going to Concord. Be when the head waves were like 2 hours, and I was like going to visit a museum. It's
Yeah.
like I'm not going to do
Yeah.
that, because it's like it's just too hard, to you know
Yep.
enjoy the museum experience, and then have to worry about, oh, I missed this train, it's going to be a 2 hour wait,
Yeah.
So, but now I think with like an hour or half-hour wait, it's like, oh, I'll do that, Mhm.
Yep.
Did you see
Yep.
the drop trips and
Yeah,
uh, performance
yes,
route performance? That's
yes,
remarkable.
it is remarkable.
That's what I've got
So
on the screen right now.
yeah, yeah, he commented on that. Yeah, so they got the drivers now, to kind of keep those drop trips down. So it's really very good. Yeah, it's good. And I guess the for the primary funding from the state, I think it's like $470 million. Apparently that they're pretty confident that's going to happen. Because the governor, the Senate, and the House are all at the same number. But there is some variable, in the amount that comes from the state that's based on, the millionaire's tax. And so apparently, that ratio isn't as locked as some people think it is. I think some people felt that the T was guaranteed 50%, of the millionaire's tax, but that's not the case. I think it seems like the legislature has full discretion as to how it splits that money. And so there is a supplemental budget, that is passed, and a lot of that is based on money, that came in from millionaire's tax, in excess of what was being considered. And so, I think the thinking is that in the supplemental budget, the education is going to get more than transit, but anyways, and I think we discussed this last time. It isn't that when we look at the quarterly numbers, and the T is saying there was a shortfall from the state. It's not that the state took money back. It's more that the T passes its budget before the state passes its budget. And so the T makes its best guess as to what it's going to get from the state. And if it misses, or let me
Right.
rephrase that, how it misses determines the extent to which there is more money that is registered each quarter or less money that's
Yep.
registered each quarter is coming from the state.
Yep.
So the T can't wait until the state passes its budget to pass its budget, because the T is legally required to pass its budget by the end of the
Right.
fiscal year. And even though the state, let's say the state brings its budget in on time too, still the T has to like formulate its budget and its draft, before the
Yep.
state has finalized its budget. So
Yep.
there's just no way
Yep.
around that, unless the state were to say, okay, we're going to come up with the numbers for the T. All three of us, House, Senate, and Gov, are going to settle on the T's funding, in April. Then the T could say, okay, now we know how much we're getting from the legislature, but this legislature's not doing that.
Yeah. It's really hard to order elected officials to do things at certain times.
Yeah, yeah,
In my limited experience,
yeah,
especially at the state.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean,
Um,
yeah, you can't order them. But I think like the speaker, and then the Senate president, could make these things happen if they wanted to,
Yeah.
but I think they just don't know, how much they're gonna have, and they don't want to allocate, anything to any given entity, until they've kind of worked out their entire budget, and then get a sense of what needs more,
Yeah.
So go ahead.
well, I'm not sure
Well,
if
I
you just
also think there's some gamesmanship um, that the leaders of the leaders, especially of the legislative bodies, uh, kind of make known at key times what the crunch is, and that sometimes is the only way the legislatures deal with it in a practical way. Because they have aspirations and uncertainties all the way until crunch time, and then all of a sudden the sausage gets made.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not sure if either of you had alluded to this just now, but I don't think I heard you mention it. This just was out yesterday in the Globe, and I heard it on at least one other media outlet that we're already this fiscal year 3.1 billion in millionaires tax revenue, and that's above what was projected to be like about a 2 billion a year, and we've still got 2 more months left.
Yeah.
So we're way above the original annual millionaires tax revenue.
Yeah.
To the tune of like almost, I think more than half again as much as was predicted a couple of years ago.
Right. Yeah. And for some reason there seems to be like this freak out, about people leaving the state, and I think the freak out, is like all these rich people are leaving the state, because of our high tax rate. And I think it's more so, that you have, people who can't find good housing here, leaving, to find places where they can get less expensive housing, and I mean, look, I mean, I'd love for that not to be the case, because I'd love for people who want to live here, to be able to find affordable housing here. But that is the kind of market correcting itself, and so.
And I think this one paragraph right here. I don't know if you can read this, Len. Maybe I should blow it up. But this one paragraph, I think, echoes what you were just saying. That here, this paragraph says, and I'll paraphrase. I'll insert the only 29% of the total loss of residents. In other words, only 29% of the total number of people that left earned 200,000 or more.
Yeah.
So the remaining 71% are under 200,000.
Right. And
of people who left, and so that does seem to go in line with what you're saying. Of it's not the richest people who are in fact leaving. It's the people who probably are finding. That's my interpretation. Echoing what you said, it's the people who can't afford housing are leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
mean,
right.
That's right.
The other question though is like, what is the proportion of people who earn $200,000 in the general population? Because if that proportion is lower than 29%, then there is a greater proportion, of plus 22,000 that are leaving. I just don't know what that number is. We can look it up. So yeah, it depends on, and then of course be whether that number is statistically significant or not. So just because it's different doesn't mean that it's statistically significant. Go ahead.
Right. Plus, I just realized that statistic is from 2022 to 2023. So that's several years back again.
Yeah, but it might be the most recent data we have. Anymore. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I agree.
I don't know. I just don't know. Yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah, that seems to be. I'm intuiting that is the most recent data. But anyway, I mean, bottom line, for the topic of I guess we could say available funding to transit and education, we're way ahead of initial millionaires tax expectations.
Right. And another thing I need to state out too, just as a kind of an argument against what I made, it could be, that you do have a lot of millionaires leaving, but the ones who are staying are just really, really wealthy, and so just getting even more wealthy, especially if they're like, buying like NASDAQ, AI related stocks, and they're cashing out on them. They're generating a lot of capital gains tax.
I think there's also a lot more people who make over $1 million from their day-to-day jobs.
Yeah.
Years ago, it was kind of people who had investments.
Right.
Were a few really top execs. I think now it's really common.
Yeah, it's not that unusual. Yeah, true enough. Yeah.
I mean, not in my household, but
yeah. I mean, mean, $1 million isn't what it used to be, but it's still
Exactly.
plenty. It's still plenty. I mean, I mean, and I can easily say that if I made $1 million, I mean, and someone wanted to tax me higher, I mean, let's say 25% or whatever, because like it just doesn't take that much to live. You know what I mean?
Well,
I mean, you really cover the basics. I mean, with me like 100,000, even less. Everything else is really gravy. And if you're telling me that you need to take me a good amount of my gravy in order to make things better, I mean, for a lot of people, I don't have a problem with that.
well,
If I
I
want more money, I'll just make one more mistake.
yeah,
If I really want to have more money, I think I probably have the wherewithal, to make more money. So even if the tax rate is higher and I want to have more money, I could just like make more money, pay more taxes, and still have more money. That's it. Thank you.
yeah. Well, 100,000 is a lot from my personal point of view, but um, if you look at families paying full tuition at private colleges,
That's not
The
a lot.
Globe had an article on the top 12 universities and colleges around here. 4 years was over $1 million
Yeah, yeah,
for one person.
yeah. Well, I was being generous with 100. Just so I was just kind of making the argument a little harder. I mean, just to say like even though people easily make $1 million, asking people to pay more, in taxes, on that million, I think
Yeah,
is okay.
yeah,
Because
I
as I said,
agree.
I would be fine with that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I agree.
Oh, before I forget, talking about
I guess we aren't
revenue.
asking. It's okay.
Oh, sorry, what?
No, I was just saying, but I guess we aren't asking them to,
No.
which is different. I think it's one thing to ask somebody, it's another thing to tell them, you have to. You know, uh,
Yep. Um, Before I forget, I wanted to call out one thing that I think is notable in the slide deck from operating and capital results. Yeah, let me pull this over as well. This I'm not going to dwell on this too much,
that's fine.
but let's see.
Normally, I'd be cranking through these, but like I said, I just didn't have the time
No,
to do
that's
it today.
okay. No, it's okay. It's really not about the data as much as it is the presentation of the data on the slide number here. This one, the slide number 5. Wait, can you see that?
Yeah,
Boy, it's pretty.
Yeah. I was particularly impressed by this because I don't think I have. I don't. Maybe there's been some in the past, but I don't recall ever seeing a slide where there's I guess to to put a term on it, like less favorable and more favorable, um, color coded with such gradation. I
Yep.
think somebody deserves a
Yeah.
pat on the back for really putting some effort into this to
Yeah.
really show the pattern. I mean, it could have just been red, orange, yellow, green. But no, I mean, there's multiple shades of red. There's a
No,
couple shades
it's
of
well
orange, and
done.
yeah,
It's not
yeah,
overly busy. It's easy on the eyes.
yeah. I mean, of course, there's questions of accessibility, but the numbers are there. So I,
Yeah.
not being an accessibility expert, I would imagine that a screen reader, hopefully, I would hope that a screen reader would do a good job for visually impaired, but for people who can
Yep.
consume color from a slide, I just find this to be remarkably well done, and I just wanted to just
Yep.
to share that quickly because it's so easy to see. Trends, more and more green, darker green, deeper green. Oh, a couple of little setbacks in there.
Yep.
That's all.
Yep.
Oh, did I put this link into the?
Yes,
Did
you
I
did, I
put this
think.
into
I
the
think you did.
operating capital results? Yes,
Yeah.
operating
You
capital
did it
results.
right
Okay,
up front.
okay.
You're
I
ahead
didn't
of
put it in
yourself.
the. I didn't put it on the YouTube chat, but I just did. Okay. 8 minutes after 6. Any preference from you gents where we go next?
Well, I brought this up before, but I do think it's going to be slowly developing, but I think we're going to have to keep our eyes on the soccer stadium from time to time.
Oh God, yes. Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
it just doesn't make sense to me that all those people walking, especially walking back after they've, had a few drinks.
Yeah, I am worried. That whole area I think is already
It's one thing in the middle of a
congestion
university
is an issue.
campus, but
Yeah.
I
Are you
think
talking
it's
about?
different. I'm
You know about
sorry, go ahead, Len.
Are you talking about South Station?
Oh no,
No, the plan is
the
to walk from Sullivan to the proposed soccer stadium.
yeah.
Oh,
This is
oh, that's what you're. Yeah.
the Charlestown,
Yeah,
right?
and
Wig?
there'll
Yeah.
be a
It's
lot of events there. That stadium is a great idea as opposed to putting it down in Foxborough. It should be urban. The soccer fans are urban, but the stadium will be of a size that they will be able to do a lot of events there.
oh, I lied. Not
Wait,
Charlestown. I'm sorry. Everett.
Everett.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
in
Everett.
Everett.
Yeah. I
yeah.
don't know why
I
I
mean,
said
No,
Charlestown.
well, Sullivan is in Charlestown, but
Right.
yeah,
Right.
the soccer stadium's going to be in Everett.
they're
Gotcha.
walking from Sullivan as opposed to Assembly. Why aren't they walking from Assembly?
Well, Assembly, um, well, for one thing, it's not directly across from Assembly. It's way toward East Boston from the casino. It's quite a
Where's
ways.
the transit?
So is
It's
it
quite.
closer to? It's closer to Sullivan than it is to Assembly.
Um, I don't know as the crow flies, but I think it's a straight walk, and then you turn right toward East Boston from Sullivan Square.
All
Hang
right.
on.
So
Let me go to
that
maps
bridge,
instead.
which is, yeah, in other words, it's closer to East Boston than the old power plant. It's basically in that vicinity,
Oh my
and
God.
it's
Here
that
we go.
side of the major roadway.
Let me make sure I got transit turned
They
on.
could have this screwed up, but that's kind of my memory from when it first popped out.
Okay. I think you got something there. Yeah. Yeah. Well, definitely before the footbridge is built, it's got to be Sullivan, because that's the only
Right,
thing
and
that makes
they're
sense,
doing
right?
nothing. They're still planting seeds on Draw 7 Park. They've been working on it forever.
Yeah.
It's still closed. It's been closed for
Um.
years.
What
Wait.
park
Riddle me
are they
this. Do
planning to
you?
see?
Sorry, Len. Say it again.
No, what park are they planning to see that, Stefan? I mean,
Oh,
Lee?
the Draw 7 Park is the one that's directly on the other side of the orange line from Assembly.
Yeah, right.
Yep. It's
Yeah,
called
you've
that
got it.
because the Newburyport Rockport line used to go over a drawbridge that was number 7.
I
So
see.
it's called Draw 7
Right.
Park.
But it's not just the orange line, right? I mean, that's all
Commuter rail
almost,
too, yeah.
yeah, it's a lot of commuter rail as well.
Yep. Right. Wig, you might know this. Is the Amelia Earhart Dam passable by pedestrians? Is it open for public walking access?
No, it is passable
Ah.
for the guys who work there, but
Okay.
it's not open. It's not open for
For the public.
pedestrians. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that because the one that's by North Station is, which
Yeah,
I've
and
always
that's
found
terrific.
interesting.
It's
Yeah.
absolutely terrific, and it's a great way to get to North Station.
Yeah.
I'm not, well, whenever I have to go through North Station for something other than just a through Green Line train, I walk. It's really pleasant. It's a
Yeah.
great, that
I don't
was a
know.
great project.
I don't know, Len. I don't know if you can see it, but when you look at the locks that
Yeah,
are at the dam right by North Station.
yeah,
You can see the pedestrian way on top of each of the 3 sets of gates on
yeah.
the
Yeah,
lock.
the
And I've
gray.
done it myself. Yeah, it's not accessible. I believe you have to climb steps because there's no ramp the last time I was there, and it doesn't look like it here. But Oh wait, is it? Is it at the level with the?
Well, there's an issue with the tide. There's an issue with
Oh, it
the
is level.
tides.
It is
You know,
level.
there's a
My
there's a
mistake.
lot of water level change in the ocean.
Yeah, no, but these gates do not go up and down. It's my mistake. This does look like it's accessible.
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
don't see any
accessible.
elevation changes.
No, it's pretty accessible.
Oh, good. I forgot about that. Yeah. So
No,
anyway,
it's really great. And the park on the Somerville Charlestown side is a great way to,
yep,
that's right there too.
yeah.
They did a
Well,
terrific job.
the only reason why I'm highlighting that particular dam and those um, lock gates is because the Amelia Earhart Dam, which is across the Mystic, which is right by Assembly, as you just said, Wig, that's not accessible to by pedestrians. It's not open to pedestrians, and that's a shame.
Yeah, this one at Assembly is used a lot in good weather. There are a lot of boats going through there.
Oh, I can maybe that's part of the
Like
reason why.
there's a huge yacht club just on the freshwater side, right? The
Oh
Winter
yeah,
Hill Yacht Club.
there it is.
Yeah. And it doesn't
Yeah.
look like much there, but it may just be seasonal. There's a lot of boats there right now. A lot of
Well, to
people
go
working on
to
boats. And
to
they're amateurs too.
yeah. To go back to your original point, Wig, which is yeah, I share your concerns. If the stadium gets built before the footbridge across the Mystic, yeah, it's going to be foot traffic across the Alfred Street Bridge to Charlestown because
And people
that's
are going to
that's
take
all
that
there is.
anyway. They're not going to walk back to Assembly. It
You
would
don't think
make
so?
their trip, yeah, it would make their trip from Sullivan almost twice as long.
Really?
Yeah, because you got to
Oh,
go up, and then it's on the right side. It's not on the left side where the casino is.
yeah, but it looks equidistant to me. I mean,
Oh,
Assembly,
if you're,
Sullivan,
oh, I
Stadium.
see. If you're starting at Assembly, yeah, but Assembly has tiny volume capacity compared to Sullivan.
Okay. So are
I
you?
mean, you'd really need to beef it up. Assembly has one head house with escalator and a tiny, they have tiny accessible um, um, elevator. They're
Okay.
tiny. And then
So I
they
guess
have one escalator on the one side. There's no escalator on the other side. It's just a
wh-
walk up.
then are you suggesting that foot traffic from the new soccer stadium to Sullivan would be preferred? Would be better? It sounds like that's what you're saying, but I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Well, unless you build out the capacity of the Assembly Orange Line station,
Yeah.
look at all the commuter rails that stop at Sullivan as well.
Commuter rail at Sullivan? No.
Isn't there?
No, not at
Yeah.
Sullivan. No.
I think it
The
goes past it. It doesn't stop.
yeah.
There's no.
There's no
Oh,
commuter
okay.
rail at
I'm
Sullivan.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
it's not.
sorry.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. I think
Yeah.
the southernmost commuter rail, I believe, is Medford Square. Sorry, Malden Center. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it
Malden
depends.
Center.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
have it in
know.
mind.
Like,
But
I think Assembly Row can like draw in a lot of the soccer folks. There are things to do at Assembly
Yeah,
Row.
I,
You
I
know?
I completely agree with you on
Yeah.
that point. That's why
Yeah.
all the Bruins fans leave from Assembly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
ah,
Yeah. Oh,
I
I mean,
didn't know that.
Assembly Row is just, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's like so much good food there. There's so much to do.
Yeah,
Huh,
yeah.
okay.
It's truly amazing. Yeah. It's like,
yeah, I agree. A lot of longtime Somerville residents kind of stick their nose up at it, but
Yeah.
I think they're doing a good job as it's coming along.
oh yeah. I mean, it's bringing a lot of money for Somerville. I mean, they're sucking in money, from all the other municipalities. So, I mean, Somervilleans, more power to us, them, who
Yeah.
shop at places on the other side of 93,
Right.
but that side of 93 is like sucking in money, from
Yeah.
all the other neighbors. Huh?
Room and
Huh?
meals. The meals taxes are going to be very significant there. That's on my short list of tracking, getting back into tracking that.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
meals taxes at Assembly are doing well. The population is good. There's not too many bad incidents there.
Yeah.
Um, I
No.
agree 100%. It's only 40% built out, but it's 240 acres. I mean,
Yeah.
Amazing.
it's large.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Was there?
if they ever populate that high rise, that'll bring in a lot. I think it's probably just a matter of time. That high rise, doesn't stand, it's just all lab space, and
Yeah.
eventually someone will bring in a lab there. They just gotta wait it out,
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, someone's just gonna realize like there's just so much to offer in this region. It's like
Right.
the employees would want to live there,
Right.
and
Right.
now maybe Somerville can help by building some more housing, more affordable housing around there, but they may
Well,
not.
Somerville has pretty high percentage requirement. The problem is once Somerville has more commercial or lab taxes, uh, um, it may make sense, but at this point, the jobs to housing ratio is just so high in Boston and Cambridge and so low in Somerville.
Yeah,
It's hard to pay for everything with middle income housing taxes because you got the school system.
right.
Do you happen to know? I mean, I was just thinking about this. Um, is that Home Depot in the what it used to be like a Circuit City, right? That's right
No,
along
no,
the
no, they're totally
expressway.
different. No,
Well,
Circuit City is much smaller. Oh, the
right, yeah,
home,
but the Home Depot is still there, right?
yeah, it
Yeah.
last time I checked, it was the second highest grossing Home Depot in the world.
No kid. Okay. Well, then that
It's
answers
probably
my
it's probably
question.
still top 10.
Okay. So it sounds like for that reason, there's no chance it's going to get bumped out.
No, it's going to get rebuilt. Cabot and Forbes has bought the long-term underlying interest in the land, but there's
Ah.
nothing they can do before the long-term lease runs out. It was a 60-year lease,
Okay.
and it's run quite a few decades now, but it's still got time to go. And CCNF is trying to figure out. I actually think there's I mean, this is a little off topic for us, but I think
That's okay.
CCNF is trying to figure out what would work for Home Depot, and I think there's an easy solution. So, but nobody else has brought this up. Um, the Home Depot parking lot is huge,
Yeah, it
and
is.
and
Yeah.
it's very rarely full. Maybe the first, you know, super sale plant weekend in the spring or something, but day to day it's not full at all. I think they could build. So the highway is up 2 stories right there. What I-93 is up 2 stories from Home Depot's parking lot, and I think they could build a 2-story above ground parking garage, which a lot of people object to in most places, but right up against the highway, I think they could build a 2-story parking garage with freight elevators, and I think they could build a new Home Depot on top of it. And then
Wow.
they could develop the old Home Depot site compatible with the rest of Assembly Square, which is Cabot and Forbes' intent, and that's why they bought the long-term interest in the land.
Hmm.
But I haven't had a chance to go talk with them. They had one meeting with a few of us who are kind of known activists and troublemakers a while back. There's a couple lawyers in Somerville that handle Somerville projects that do a pretty good job um, of wending their way between the Somerville activists and the community and the developers. And one of those
Yeah.
attorneys has been working on this, but I haven't heard anything recently. But CCNF, they have a pretty good heritage, so we'll see.
Yeah, I bet you're right about that because, I mean, case in point, that Home Depot and what used to be the Circuit City next to it, that's really the only major parcel between the tracks and 93 and the river that hasn't been completely redeveloped, right? I've been looking at
No,
it here, and
no, no. More than half of Assembly Square hasn't been redeveloped.
you're kidding. It looks
No, I'm
like
not.
everything here has been.
No.
Oh,
What's left, Squig?
Well,
I'll be
there's a
darned.
huge parking lot where the old Ford plant was. That's going to be torn. That's going to be totally redeveloped.
The huge parking lot where where is
Well,
that?
right, yeah,
oh,
right
is that
there.
is that?
That
Oh,
parking
this.
lot's 600 feet long.
Oh, I'll be darned.
Hey, so they're going to
Is
read
this?
Oh, so that was not originally that's been there.
Yeah, yeah.
I
That
see.
that is a Ford plant by the most famous industrial designer in U.S. history.
This right here is still the Ford plant,
Yeah,
still there.
yeah. There's
Oh, I thought it
huge
was
clear
long
stories.
gone.
Those are huge clear stories. On
Oh,
No,
I
it's
thought
just
this.
been rehabbed inside.
I had no idea. I thought this was net new for
No,
these
no,
retail
not at all.
spaces.
It's just a good intermediate
Ah,
adaptive reuse.
son, I'm glad you told me. I had no idea there was anything left of the old Ford plant. I am
Yeah,
so glad
the
you told me.
the long wall along that's closest to the street there
Yep.
was 100% glass walls. This guy was a brilliant
Wow.
industrial designer, and that's why the clear
Wow.
stories are there too. This was part of the healthy design group in the U.S. that was kind of parallel with the healthy design group in Germany.
Oh, I'm so glad you told us that. Oh,
So
wow.
so what are
Okay.
so you're talking about where the Bob's Discount is in the Burlington? That's all to be redeveloped.
Yeah, yeah, we've
What?
had kind of off the record preliminary discussions with federal
So what are they gonna put there?
mixed use.
Oh, really? Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, but I do believe so that parcel's 600 feet wide and 2,400 feet long. That's
Yeah.
basically
Wow.
almost a half mile long, that parcel.
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
can see it.
That's
Yep.
a lot of city blocks in Boston. Um, but I do believe 600 feet wide. You don't want blocks that are more than 200 feet, right? Because you lose the ability to get light into the buildings, especially residential. If you got 200 by
Ah.
200 foot residential, you generally have an opening in the center, right? You can see those there. So those are to get light down into those buildings. Um,
Like
so
this,
you could
yeah.
have two 200-foot strips that were fully developed in the kind of assembly and federal realty model, and then you could have a 200-foot strip in the middle that was just all public space. You could have a spectacular park and some, one-story little restaurants or, coffee shops or bars of the type that are already kind of populating assembly on ground floor that aren't, you know. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for that parcel. That's the next really big effort for Federal Realty.
Hmm.
But I added this all up a couple years ago. Assembly is 40% built out
Amazing.
relative to the approved master plan density.
Amazing. I would have guessed it was a lot further built
I
out.
know.
So
Well, it's
I'm
normal.
glad you told
It's
me.
normal.
So there's a master
And
plan.
Hmm.
There's a master plan for assembly that's
yeah,
available.
there's an old master plan, and a couple of us were asked to just chat informally with one or two of the mid-level executives there about 6 months ago. So we went over and did that, and I haven't heard much about it since then, but it was just myself and one of the best new urbanist designers in the country. She teaches at RISD,
Who's that?
but Ann Tate.
Oh,
I mean, I don't want to really out all of this stuff too much, but
That's okay.
um, yeah. So she
right.
was one of the original new urbanists that came out of Harvard. long time ago, and she's married to Bob Massey, who's a quite unusual person himself.
Tying this,
The name rings a
tying this,
bell. What does he do?
Well, among other things, he ran series for a while, but he's done an awful lot of stuff on climate, and he's taught at various places. He's he's quite famous in part because um, of chronic disease that was incurable years ago and is no longer incurable. And his father wrote the top biographies of some of the Russians because they had a similar inherited disease. I don't really want to go into more detail on this if it's okay. I mean, these are.
yeah, we don't have to. Yeah, we can. I want to tie it all back to how
I
we
mean,
started
that's
on
publicly,
this, which is,
you could find everything
yeah,
I've said.
yeah. But tying this back to how we started was talking about the soccer stadium, and
Yeah.
it sounds to me like it would actually be okay, from what I heard you say, Wig, about Sullivan capacity. It sounds like it would be okay if the stadium were finished before the new footbridge over the Mystic.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
but it sounds like also that if the footbridge can be up and running, can be there and
yes,
finished before the soccer stadium opens, it's going
yeah,
to be far better, because then you've got those people coming over into the whole mixed use area that's hopping in the assembly
yeah.
row.
No,
And that's going to be a
yeah,
big win.
that's true. Um, and that the paths, the footbridge is part of a spectacular regional path network that's slowly all getting mixed. So Northern Strand comes right down beside the casino from Lynn, right?
Yep.
And that's part of the same, super regional path plan. And in Somerville, especially, we were early to make sure that these were multi-use paths, so the bicyclists are very polite. They watch out for little kids or for people who can't, you know, they're meant to be paths for everybody, no matter what your age or ability is. And that's the way the bridge is absolutely met our desires. It won't have a roof over it, but it's going to be 18 feet wide, so multiple people can use it. People can linger. A few, some old guys can fish off of it. Baby carriages won't be in the way. It's exactly what we would want.
I'm sorry, 18 feet wide?
Yeah. It was supposed to be
Holy
just 12,
cow.
but if it's just 12, the bicyclists are that leaves you, when you take out buffer zones, if you take 4 feet of buffer zones out, then you got 2 4-foot bike lanes.
Yeah.
What the hell's going to happen with a struggling mother with a couple baby carriages?
Exactly. I
But
am
18
so glad.
feet, 18
Yeah.
feet, that hit the spot for us. We don't need a
I'm thrilled.
roof, and it goes right to it will end at the top, at the biggest head of the 2 head houses, Orange Line head houses. So
Wow.
that head house is fully accessible. That just hit the spot.
Wow, that is great. Funny that we talk about shared use path, because I went to all 5. Nope, sorry. I went to all 4 of the in-person public meetings about the Lynn, the
Yep.
1A Linway reconstruction, and that's going to have a shared use path for virtually the entire length.
Yep.
And I'm actually really glad that the MBTA and the project folks did the presentations in the way that they did, because it emphasized to a lot of people who didn't know shared use. What's that mean? Bikes
Yeah.
and cars? No. It's bikes and pedestrians. Shared
Yeah.
use, and that seemed to open a lot of people's eyes.
Yeah.
Oh wait. Oh, shared use. Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
they've been doing a good job. I mean, the near me and in Somerville, but also further, not all in Somerville. I think they've been doing a great job with outreach on those kinds of things.
Exactly, exactly. And I think it's also notable that um, I'll just mention this in passing, but I hadn't realized that in the downtown Lynn reconstruction to put in bikeways,
Yep,
it's not all dedicated bikeway. I don't know if you noticed this, Wig. Um, the majority of the new bikeway that's on
yep,
street, but it's separated bikeway. It's
yeah,
it's basically barrier separated for like I don't know a huge percentage,
yep,
except for one little part, which is just being finished now along Market Street, just
yep,
outside of just south of City Hall. It's going to be shared use, and I didn't realize
yep,
that until I just within the last week or so noticed. Oh, hey, there's no there's no separated bikeway. Oh, look, the
yep,
ramp from the dedicated bikeway goes up onto sidewalk, so
yep,
there is going to be like 150 yards of shared
yeah,
use.
right,
Um,
right.
but I don't see any problem with that because that area is so wide.
Yeah, yeah. You've got a couple wide roads. Um, yeah, so I think that that's right. I mean, we've really progressed a lot with these things. There is one issue that they do screw up on. They're not really paying attention to the remaining ultrafine particle exposures,
Hmm.
and that's a pretty big problem.
Funny that you mentioned that because that's one thing I wanted to bring up about those meetings. Um, we had a special guest. Um, Len, remind me, was it the subcommittee's meeting in?
Yeah, so the last meeting, the CIF
I
meeting, the
think it
guy
was.
from Lynn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the last meeting, the combined
Um,
CIF
yeah.
MCOT meeting. Oh, I
And
didn't get
I'm
his
all of
name.
a
Sorry,
sudden,
I have to
it's
check the email.
it's right at my fingertips, and I'm embarrassed that I can't
You should be.
remember. Oh my gosh.
One thing that keeps happening is people keep confusing fine
Nick.
particles and ultrafine particles, and they are completely different.
Yes, I make that mistake too, I have to admit.
And that's a really big problem from a health point of view because regional fine particles are largely controlled now, and ultrafine particles, which are much more dangerous, are largely not controlled in any way.
Yep. All right. All right. I found him, and Wig. It's Nick Alonso, who, if he hasn't already reached out to, I should put in touch via email because he's
Sure, that'd be
working
great.
as.
Did
I'm
he
actually
have a
going to.
presentation?
Not
No.
as such, no. We really just discussed things. But the reason why I wanted to call out Nick to you, Wig, is that his role is transportation coordinator at the city of Lynn under the Lynn City Public Health Department.
Yeah.
And part of his mission is to outreach to the underserved minority communities in Lynn to get them more aware of their public transit options in the city, to
Yeah.
assist with public health, to get them to appointments quicker, easier,
Yeah, sure.
to get them to, social services quicker, easier.
Yeah.
And when I spoke with him at the Lynn event about the Linway reconstruction, I
Yeah.
mentioned all of your work to him, and I mentioned how, you know, living near major transit corridors leads to so many degraded aspects of health because of the particulate matter. And I said, Nick, you should really try to also work into your your work, more awareness of the community on this.
Yeah, I'm
Because
happy
if
to
we can
talk.
minimize people
I'm,
waiting for the
I'm
bus.
I'm happy to talk with him off the record.
Oh yeah, yeah, no, just to introduce yourselves. Yeah, I'll email you
Yeah,
both,
an
and that way you
email would
can.
be great. Roadways are by far the biggest issue. I mean,
Absolutely.
obviously, um, trains are a big issue too, especially ones that aren't electrified. Um, but
Yep.
roadways are the most common exposure, and aviation is a huge issue.
Exactly. And
Um,
at least
but
on the
yeah,
upside of that,
there's very little knowledge of the science and health
yeah,
effects of this stuff.
yeah. I'm
Bill?
optimistic that because of the designs, not only the designs of the road infrastructure for the new Linway that's going to be starting
Yeah,
in, I don't know, probably a year and a half,
yeah,
but also because of the signal timing and better traffic
yeah,
flow, it it ought to be an improved, meaning
yeah,
lower level of tailpipe emissions, and that's going to be important for people who are using the new bikeway, the people who are
right.
waiting for the bus in greater numbers because of all the development there. So I think it's going to be a win-win. There'll be more greening along the Linway, as well as, like I said, better traffic flow, and that all helps.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, sure.
before
Just
before I forget, I'm just pulling in the joint subcommittee notes. It was in fact May 12 when we had Nick Alonso. Um, we also talked about the operational aspects of the World Cup service, safety data, ferry service,
yeah,
passenger counters. Um, it's a nice rule of thumb, by the way, that crushed load on your typical MBTA 40-foot bus is 50 people. So it's a nice round number to have in mind. Crushed load, 50 people. More than that,
that's yeah,
it's bad. Less than 50 people, you might have some people standing, but it's not
yeah. So,
defined as crush.
I don't think I see the CIF meeting notices.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah.
They go out to the same list. They go out to the same
Well,
mailing list as the general ones.
yeah, I don't know why. I always notice the generals, and it could just be me, but
The same
I'm
list.
sorry. You mean CIF, our subcommittee?
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I immediately thought of CIP, the MBTA CIP, and I was about to pull that up. Nope,
Nope. I mean, I mail it
different
out.
acronym. Different acronym.
Same mailing list.
Well, Wig, don't overlook the possibility, rare as it is, that your email program might have inadvertently been trained to think that it's junk.
Yeah.
I've had weird
Yeah,
things
yeah.
happen
That's a
with my
really good
junk
point.
filter. Yeah, even
That's a
things that are
really good
coming from the
point.
same mailing list. If the subject or the content in the body gets
Right.
No,
somehow your
that's a really
junk
good
filter
point.
gets
That's
trained. Yeah.
probably what happened.
Yeah. So check your junk.
Yeah. Yeah, normally I don't check it because I assume the computer's perfect.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good rule of thumb for most guys. Every now and then, check your junk. Check your junk,
Uh,
people. Sorry.
hey,
Um, where do we want to take the last 20 minutes or so?
You want to look at the draft letter.
Yes, please. I'm going to pull that right over.
good idea.
Oh, get ready to edit.
Yeah. I don't know if this is going to be at all in a size that you can read, Wig.
Well,
Oh, looks like that's the maximum. I can't make it any bigger than that. Oh, actually, maybe I can pull in the... Hang on.
excuse me.
Let me open up the attachment. Maybe I can get that to... I should be able to get that larger. It's probably going to be easier. It's only 3 paragraphs, so probably easier, Wig, if I can get it to be large enough for you to read. It'll probably be easier just to do it right here. Yeah. This might work. Yeah, I think we got it. I'm going to go to 300%. And then if I can get the sidebar turned off. There we go. Wig, tell me if you can read this document comfortably. I think, yep, there's the whole thing in the
Yep.
window.
Yep. Yeah, and I think, Len, when did you send out the draft? I think I looked at it.
Oh, I just sent it out like at the beginning of the meeting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was waiting to see who was going to show up at the meeting before I sent it. So
Okay. All right. All right.
yeah. So it's an email, with two attachments, one a PDF and one the Word doc.
Oh, Len,
Yeah.
one missing word on the second paragraph, last sentence. There should be a second word, we, W-E. We have been, and we, actually two. We have been, and we expect that we will continue to be. Or if you want to rephrase that, but it's, right now it's a little clunky. We have been and expect that will continue. It needs at least one more we.
Yeah, I agree.
In that second sentence to
be
thanks,
yeah.
Research.
But
yep,
as
but
always,
it's great.
The tone is exceptional.
Well, thank you.
It's considerate of the reader, which I don't know why more people don't do that. I get that once in a while you got to kind of step on things, but
what do you
in
mean by
general,
step on things? You mean agitate people or?
Well, once in a while you got to speak up a little louder, but in general, having a cordial tone,
yeah,
and readable text is a pretty good foundation for whatever you want to say.
Yeah. Exactly. And generally, I mean, it's like if I'm gonna really be confrontational, I mean, I try to have it in person.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make two arguments. You can make an argument against that. I mean, it's like I'm not gonna have like a emotional conversation with someone. I try to, if I think something's gonna get really emotional, it's like let's take this to email. But if I'm gonna like really like say stuff that is confrontational in the kind of professional sense, I try to just kind of do that in person and kind of like work it out.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do something that confrontational on paper. Although every once in a while, I mean, as you said, Wig, you do, and sometimes it can't help but be in public because that's just the nature of the law. I mean, it's like, and I agree. I mean, I'm really in favor of open meeting law, and sometimes it's like, it's like open meeting law says that I need to say this in public because I did have a problem with the long range plan, and we kind of reshifted our balances, weightings, not weightings, but distribution of projects kind of on the fly in order to make it work. And I was like, oh, that's just not the way to do this, folks. And so, anyways, I hear it. So we have been, and we expect that we will. Yeah, there are 2 weeks gone. All right. Yeah, I may end up reworking that sentence. So okay. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. I'm not too thrilled with that.
For me, the content is excellent.
Yeah.
The points are clear and salient.
Yeah.
And I support sending it as is with the aforementioned couple of additions of the word we, but I also have full faith and confidence in any rewrites you want to do. So consider this my acceptance for submitting it.
All right. Well, I did add those 2 weeks, but the key to the letter is that third paragraph where they are transforming the transit working group from a forum-oriented group to a project-oriented group. And so I've had some preliminary talks with them, about what they are considering doing. Jonathan Church, with his group now at OTP, he used to be part of the MPO, and now he's with MassDOT and OTP, and they have created a little database isn't quite the right word, a resource of of all of the kind of I want to say transit. This is word for it. These little small transit systems, like Lex Express, and their schedules, and what routes they have. Just trying to see, where the connections are and where there aren't connections. And so they've done. I think it's mostly done. But apparently it's not being made public because you know no one feels that they have the resources, to keep it up to date. And
Oh, that's too bad.
yeah, not I understand. I think Betsy Harvey, created a similar map, or maybe they drew from her map, for the coordinated plan, which is um, uh, it's not supplemental. It's a plan of its own. It kind of it's developed on the same cadence at the same time that the long range plan is, but it gets hardly any attention.
Yeah.
But it's a plan, that supports elderly people and disabled people,
Yeah.
and if kind of understands what the gaps are, and see what people are doing, and then to fill the gaps, or just in service in general, and then make recommendations. And so she created that map. She said it's a lot of work, to do it. I think it's just really hard to get the information, out of
Yeah.
the various entities. But when we had a little meeting, I said, look, I think if you had a listing, of the contact people there, and you had a sense of when they changed their schedules in like a week or so, before they change the schedule, maybe a couple of weeks. You send them an email saying, please let us know what changes you're making. You give them like a Google form, to input that information. I think most of them would do it, and for most of them that didn't do it, then, or for those that didn't do it, which I don't think would be most, then you just have to manually go and find it. So I kind of offered our services, because it's the sort of thing I would be into doing, and I think I could figure out some automation, for doing it, but a lot of times entities, don't take people up on that for two reasons. One is that, well, they don't have control over them, you
Right.
know, and so not only can they not like guarantee you're going to do the work that you say you're
Yeah.
going to do, but they can't really guarantee the quality of it either.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then I think some people, understandably, are wary, of free labor. I think there might be kind of laws against that. And so, and I'm not suggesting that they break any laws. I guess I'm not too concerned about free labor, because coming from Arlington and even Somerville, where you have all these volunteer groups, it's like, I don't think there's much. I think the free labor thing is probably geared towards kids and certainly not towards adults, and so we'll see what comes of it. But my
Yeah.
understanding too is that the transit working group has only $6,000 in the budget. Apparently there's talk about allocating more, in the fiscal year 28 budget, but $6,000 really isn't a lot to do just about anything.
Yeah.
And so we'll see what happens. And I'll keep you abreast of things. But yeah, I think if we wanted to try to keep it updated, um, we could. And it might be something for just us to maybe put on the Rocks website. And so if I can get access to information that they have, so we don't have to like reinvent the wheel from the first spoke, then it'd be like a great starting point. I think between you and I, Stefan, we could figure out, how to keep it updated. Even if we
I
didn't
think
get
you're
like,
right.
yeah, yeah, it's just really a matter of tracking, and then I find that nothing succeeds like success. You know what I mean? It's like it may take you a while to get there, but
Yeah.
once people see that you have something going, they really want to be a part of it. And I think you find that you could probably get like 90% of the entities, like providing you with updated information. And it's not like I think the information changes that much anyways, you know what I mean? Which sometimes becomes hard to keep track of, because you just kind of take it for granted, that it's there, but
Yeah.
then it changes, and then usually I think the person who was responsible or took responsibility for communicating information, they're gone, they didn't communicate to the person that replaces them, hey, you need to contact these people. But as long as we every like 6 months or so kind of ping them and said, hey, any updates? If there's no, like just click no here. We're on our way. Yes, then tell us what it is. If we don't
Yeah.
get any response, then it's like, okay, well, let's see what's going on there. So
Yeah.
yeah, maybe
That's
bees.
that's enticing.
Yeah, it is. It's like
Ah.
the kind of thing that you kind of do, like it's something you need to do like every 6 months or so, but it might take you the better part of 2 weeks to do it. But it's the kind of thing you kind of do in your spare time. You know what I mean? It's like you have your
Yep.
list, and it's like, okay, I'm taking a break now, and my break it could be like I'm taking a break from doing something work related that's really tedious. So
Yeah.
I'll do this as a little break from that, and so you're taking a break from the tedious thing, but you're still getting stuff done.
I should do that more. I should take a break from work stuff that's tedious and do non-work stuff. I find that I end up doing different work stuff to take a break from the tedious work stuff, but it's still work
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, it still works. No, it still works. No, I get it. No, that's true. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah.
So it's like a
Uh,
tedious stuff. Okay, I'll do this for like 10 minutes, and then I'll do something else. But I have to tell you, I won't talk about. Oh yeah, I'm not going to talk about stuff that I did with AI again because it seems like every time I talk with you, all I'm talking
yeah.
about stuff. But
Okay.
but I did just save like 6 hours today. Of work.
Nice.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
What
good.
yeah.
what AI were you using?
Gemini.
Uh,
Gemini, and instead of having to spend like 3 hours trying to figure out how to label, these questions, that would become the headers, for. I think I told you about these Chloropleth files, that it helped me create last time. Like this, like if you had outline of the states and you had different colors for each state, those are called Chloropleth files,
Yeah.
Chloropleth files, and so and we have like 190 questions, and the challenge was either I could go and create the titles for them, myself, which would require some interpretation of the question and the options, or I could tell the LLM, it's like, hey, here are a couple examples of how I combine, the question with the options, follow this example, and do it, for all the other ones, and it did it. There was only one little flaw, where it was one because I had the question numbers associated with it. It kind of
yeah.
repeated the first four um, characters in the string. So it kind of repeated the number, which was a letter, 2 digits, and a dash. And repeated those. And I know enough Excel, to go and take those out. That took me like all of 3 minutes to do. But then I queried it and I told it, hey, like there was this issue. I fixed it, but can you explain the cause of the issue? And explain the cause of the issue is that if you want, this fixed in the next, Python file that it created to do the work, I'll fix it. And that was a good 3 hours just there. And I saved like 3 hours earlier or something else. So
Nice.
yeah, and so it just leaves energy to do other stuff.
Yeah.
And so anyways, like helping to keep the maps up to date, so that
Yeah.
we could, yeah. So we'll see if they'll take us up on it, But I offered our assistance in other ways. Just we'll see what they do.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Quick technical question before we run out of time and before I forget to ask. Um, Up until maybe 10 minutes ago, was my audio full of background noise from my
Yes, it was.
fans?
Yes,
I apologize.
yeah, no problem. I wasn't sure what it
I,
was.
well, apparently
Yeah.
I had inadvertently turned off the Zoom noise filter,
Okay.
and I had absolutely no idea until maybe 5 or 10 minutes ago. So I was subjecting you guys to the
Wasn't
noise
a
from my
problem.
fans
Wasn't a problem.
inadvertently, not deliberately, but
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I didn't know where it was coming from, so I didn't. I didn't. I
yeah,
mean,
it was me. It was
I didn't
me.
know if it was
The
you or. I didn't think it
Yeah,
was me, but it could have been. Oh, go ahead.
what you hear right now is what you should hear from me. Even though I've got four little fans over here all
Right.
going,
Right.
right now you probably can't hear them.
Right. So
And this, yeah.
go ahead.
Oh, good. Yeah, you tell me.
How do you turn off the filter?
Ah, at least the way that I have it set up. Well, I don't think I can share my my Zoom window, but
Is
it's
this
for it's down here under.
settings?
Well, because I've got it turned on for. I don't know if you can see my. I don't know if you can see my Zoom preferences
Okay, never
screen.
mind. So it's in
Well, hold on. Let
settings
me.
though, right?
Yeah. Let
Okay, I'll
me pull
find it.
this
Never
up.
mind. I'll look it
Hold
up.
on.
I'll look it up. It's fine.
Hold on.
I didn't even know.
Can you see?
Yeah.
You
I can
can
just
see
go.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's here. If you want there to be no noise filtering, it's this one.
Yeah.
And that this third one will turn off all noise. Well, I can show you because right now you can probably
Yeah.
hear my fans in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
This is
why'd you
what
turn
I
it
actually-
off?
If I want to play any sound effects, you know, like
I see.
yeah.
I see. So are you?
The sound effects get noise filtered.
I see. I see.
Yeah. So
like-
it's kind of a catch-22. I have to, if I want to play any sound effects, I have to quickly flip this on and then
Right.
remember. But it's also available down here under the
Right.
Zoom audio menu. You can do original sound for musicians or noise removal. And so anyway, I apologize. I didn't mean to subject you guys to the sound of
No
my
problem.
fans for
No
the
problem.
majority of the
Oh,
meeting.
wasn't a problem. Wasn't a problem.
Thank you.
At least
So-
here.
Where are you doing
Thank
these
you.
sound effects? A little Jim Cramer. Yeah.
When do I or like
yeah, when?
when? Oh, if I'm in a meeting
Oh gosh.
and well, if I could turn off my fans now,
And
you know,
someone
I'm in
says
a
something
meeting-
great.
Yeah, or you know, I've done these before now and then in Zoom, but you know, then I'll tell a really bad joke like you know, a priest, a rabbi, and a duck walk into a bar, and the bartender says, "What is this, a joke?" Yeah,
Oh my goodness! Wow.
all
Wow.
that stuff.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. You know, so
Clearly, Stefan is overworked
yeah, really, yeah, really,
by
really.
himself.
Sometimes I am my own best audience.
Yeah.
And
That's
of course,
good.
If somebody gets something right, then I'll be like, "Yep, bing,
Yeah.
you're right."
You know, I see a lot. The dogs are very polite these days, most of them, which I appreciate. But I see a lot of dogs looking quizzically at their owners, and I'm thinking the dog's probably right. The owner was probably not clear.
Eventually, I'm sure we will end up with an AI LLM dog to human, human to dog translator, and I'm actually being kind of serious. Eventually,
Yeah.
it's just a matter of training on the AI. Yeah, it'll be like a camera base to like look at the dog and like interpret the dog's yeah, but I mean, for any AI, it's just a matter of have you got enough inputs for training it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting seeing the AI expert next to the Pope.
Oh, I didn't know about that one. How so?
Yeah, there were two speakers. One was a young guy who was an AI expert.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think he was talking about like AI and weapons. You know.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was a pretty big talk. I mean, it got a lot of people in the world probably watched it.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Well, I mean, I think if someone can command some attention, it'd be the Pope. And you're right after them, Wig. Right after,
Well,
right?
I hope not. I always like being a Z because most lines you get out of more problematic things than good things. So
yeah, that's true. But then you have to wait forever, huh? You know.
Well, sometimes they just forget about you, which can be good.
Well, more than a few times in school, the teacher would mix things up by going in reverse alphabetical order and catch me completely off guard.
Yeah.
I think there was only one other person in any of my classes who had a last name alphabetically after mine who would come before me. So not too often, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, with the D, you have a lot of warning, but you don't have to wait forever. So you
Mm.
get some
Yeah.
warning, you're done. And then you just have to stay awake, whatever. I mean, for the rest. I mean, so like, it's like,
Must
like,
be terrifying if you're an AB or an AA.
yeah, uh,
Like,
Or you're always on your toes.
yeah.
yeah.
Wig,
Yep.
Alrighty.
I'm gonna email you and Nick Alonso as soon as we wrap this up,
Yep.
which sounds
Great.
like really a good time.
Yeah. So, do we have anyone for June?
Um, unless you heard back from Darren, I am going to see if I can get in touch with Mike Rooks
Yeah, yeah,
at
yeah.
now at MBTA, formerly Cleolis.
I have not heard from Darren, so I say it's between Rooks and Wolfgang. So why don't you
Sounds good
contact
to me.
Rooks, and if you
And
don't get
you can
Rooks, then I can contact Wolfgang.
sounds good.
And then we can try to get the other one for July, and then we're gonna take off August, and then maybe try to get
Exactly.
Darren for September or something.
Something like that. Yep.
Yeah.
Unless who knows, we might hear from Darren before then. We'll see.
All right, yeah, we'll see. All right, gentlemen.
Apologies if I mentioned this before, but I think the high-speed line didn't come up today.
Oh my gosh. Well, we just did for the sake of Craig. Mattapan High Speed Line.
Exactly.
There we go. Yeah.
For Craig.
There you
Well
go.
done, Wig. Well
Yeah.
done.
Well, that's
Thank
what he
you.
gets for leaving, though. He was
Whew.
like here for all 15 minutes. So that's
That's
his
okay.
fault. Yeah.
He's
Well,
got-
he always he
he's got
pays
kids.
attention though. The
Yeah.
time he gives us,
Yep.
he's paying attention.
Right,
So
right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not upset, but I'm just saying it's like he had a chance, So
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
We got his back though.
yeah.
All right, I'm going to shut it down. Thank you both. Thank you for everyone watching on YouTube. This concludes the May 26th, my birthday, 2026 Rider Oversight Committee. Thank you. See
It's
you in
Heinz's
2 weeks.
birthday. He's catching up.